Thus he said, The fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down, and break it in pieces. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise. And another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times, and the dividing of time. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume and to destroy it unto the end.
In the previous video, Daniel had a vision of 4 different beasts arising from the sea. He was fixated on the 4th beast and its terrifying, bewildering appearance. Daniel honed his focus on the beast's horns. A little horn arose that spoke blasphemous words and displaced 3 of the previous horns. The Holy Spirit interjected a heavenly scene, wherein, verses 9 and 10, the Father initiates the investigative judgment, and verses 12 to 14, Christ, the Son of Man, receives an eternal dominion while conducting the judgment in the presence of the Father. Verses 19 and 20, as magnificent as this scene was, Daniel desires to know the meaning of the 4th beast, its iron teeth, brass or bronze claws, the 10 horns on its head, and that stout, little, blasphemous horn that uprooted 3 previous horns. Verse 21, the little horn wars against, or persecutes, the saints and defeats them. This would continue until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was rendered in the saints' favor and they possessed Christ's kingdom. Verses 23 and 24, this 4th beast, the 4th kingdom, devours the whole earth, trampling it and breaking it in pieces. The 10 horns are 10 kingdoms. The rise of 10 horn, the division of Rome into 10 kingdoms, occurred over a period of 25 years, between 351 and 476 AD. As we've seen in previous videos, in no particular order, the 10 divisions are these: the Alemanni or Germany, the Franks or French, the Burgundians or Switzerland, the Suevi or Portugal, the Heruli whom Anastasius I exterminated in 508 AD, the Vandals, whom Justinian I exterminated in 534 AD, the Visigoths or Spain, the Anglo-Saxons or England, the Ostrogoths, whom Justinian I exterminated in 554 AD, and the Lombards, which is Italy. Note, 3 of these 10 kingdoms were exterminated, plucked up or uprooted, namely, the Heruli, the Vandals and the Ostrogoths. The little horn uproots these 3 and is different from the 3 kingdoms. The 3 uprooted kingdoms are pagan. The little horn, being different, would claim to be Christian. And this is how the little horn was formed. 476 AD, Odoacer, the leader of the Heruli, kills Orestes in Piacenza, northern Italy, and took the throne of Italy. 493 AD, Theodoric the Ostrogoth assassinates Odoacer and claims Italy. 538 AD, Justinian sent General Belisarius to Italy. Therein, he defeated the Goths and reclaimed Italy. Justinian shifts his throne to Constantinople, which is Istanbul in Turkey, vacates Rome and gives it to the papacy. By imperial decree, Justinian I gave the papacy unlimited power over all the churches on the earth. The Romish Church, the little horn power, had its own seat, Rome, the richest and most powerful city on earth. The papacy became a religio-political entity. Verse 25 states that he, the little horn, the office of the papacy, will speak great words against the Most High, he shall blaspheme. The very self-approved titles of the Pope fulfill this prophecy, titles such as Vicegerent or Vicar of the Son of God. Recall, John 16, The Holy Spirit is Christ's vicar or substitute. Said Pope Nicholas to Emperor Michael, "The Pope can never be bound or loosed by the secular power, since it is plain that he was called God by the pious Prince Constantine, and it is manifest that God cannot be judged by man. In the execution of his office, the Pope claims divinity. He and his prelates are thereby infallible. This infallibility, they claim, empowers them to forgive sins, the worst of all blasphemies. A definition of blasphemy is given in the Bible. Luke 5 verse 21, "And the scribes and the Pharisees began to reason, saying, Who is this which speaketh blasphemies? Who can forgive sins, but God alone? A created being that claims the ability to forgive sins, blasphemes. Of course, Jesus, being God wrapped in human flesh, had the power to forgive sins, as seen in Luke 15 verse 24. And concerning the Mass, Papal Bull Incarnationis Mysterium, issued November 29, 1998, the following claims are made. 1. The Mass is equally valuable as the cross of Christ. 2. Concerning the wafer, the priest can create as creator. And 3. Even if Christ had not come to the earth, the participation in the Mass would have been sufficient to save man from his sins. Verse 25, "And he shall wear out the saints of the Most High." When one reads Dowling's History of Romanism, we learn that papists have killed approximately 50 million during its 1,260-year rule. The papacy, a supposedly Christian entity, killed exceedingly more Christians than all the pagan emperors before it. During the height of papal rule, 1 million Waldensians perished in France because they opposed Catholic dogma. A snippet of the Jesuit oath reads as follows, "I do further promise and declare that I will, when opportunity presents, make and wage relentless war, secretly and openly, against all heretics, Protestants. I will spare neither age, sex nor condition, and that I will hang, burn, waste, boil, flay, strangle, and bury alive these infamous heretics." 900,000 were killed 30 years after the institution of the Jesuit order. The Duke of Alva boasts of executing 36,000 heretics in the Netherlands. In 1252, Pope Innocent legislated the use of torture of heretics in the Inquisition. The Inquisition destroyed by various means of torture 150,000 purported heretics within 30 years. In northwestern Europe, 50,000 persons were hanged, beheaded, burned, or buried alive, for the crime of heresy, within the space of 38 years, from the Edict of Charles V against the Protestants, to the Peace of Chateau Cambrésis in 1559. Revisiting verse 25, "The little horn shall think to change times and laws." The Catholic Church has its own version of the 10 Commandments. It expunged the second commandment, which forbids the worship of idols, and split the 10th commandment in two so as to make up the number 10. They truncated the 4th commandment, torn from its place the Sabbath of Jehovah, the only memorial of God ever given to man, and erected in its place, its own Sabbath, the first day of the week, rooted in Constantine's Sunday law. 321 AD, Constantine, a sun worshipper, established Sunday as a day of rest. That day was called the Venerable Day of the Sun. The Catholic Mirror of September 23, 1894, the Catholic Church for over 1,000 years before the existence of a Protestant by virtue of her divine mission, changed the day from Saturday to Sunday. The Convert's Catechism of Catholic Doctrine, 2nd edition, page 50, we observe Sunday instead of Saturday because the Catholic Church, in the Council of Laodicea, 365 AD, transferred the solemnity from Saturday to Sunday. The Catholic Record of London, Ontario, September 1, 1923, Sunday is our mark of authority. The Church is above the Bible, and this transference of Sabbath observance is proof of that fact. When asked if the Catholic Church has power to institute festivals and precepts, she answers, A Doctrinal Catechism by Stephen Keenan, had she not such power she could not have done that which all modern religionists agree with her, She could not have substituted the observance of Sunday, the first day of the week, for the observance of Saturday, a change for which there is no scriptural authority. Herein, the Romish Church endorses the fact that she instituted Sunday's sacredness because she had the power to do so. She admits that there is no scriptural authority for the change. Verse 25, they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time. This is the length in which the saints will be persecuted. Number 14 verse 34, one prophetic day is a literal year. Using the hermeneutic of Daniel 4 verse 23, a time is a prophetic year, 360 prophetic days or literal 360 years. The Bible uses a 30-day month. Times, or 2 times, is 2 prophetic years or 720 years. The dividing of time, or half of a time, is half of a prophetic year or 180 literal years, giving a grand total of 1,260 years. From 538, when Justinian I gave the papacy the city of Rome, until 1798, when Napoleon imprisoned Pope Pius VI, the little horn maintained despotic sway over the kings of the earth. Verse 26, Christ in judgment puts an end to the reign of the fourth beast. And in the end times, Revelation 16 verse 10, the Father pours the 5th plague on the seed of the fourth beast, retribution for the saints killed during its bloody reign. And when Christ returns to claim his own, the saints are issued into an everlasting kingdom.